Alrighty. Oops. Okay. All right. So where are we at? There we go. Good, 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 good. Okay. The light part. All right. Oh, this a little bit. There we go. Sweet. Okay. Hello, hello. How are you all? Happy Tuesday. We're back at it again. I'm offering free and paid readings today. And I'll get into it in just a minute. Hello, Holly. How are you? Feel free to say hi. What's up? Okay, I'm gonna fix this. All right, cool. What's up, everybody? My name is Angelica from Infinite Love Healing. I am an Ascended Master Healer, an intuitive empath, a quantum creatrix and magician. And really all that is, it's a fancy way of saying I'm a quantum healer, energy worker, channel. I work with energies and the grid. I'm a Reiki master in 3 different types of Reiki. You know, intuitive coach, mentor, and really how I work, how I receive information is I'm very, very extremely empathic. I'm also clairaudient and claircognizant. So I know things and I hear things, and that is how I receive and interpret, translate information. Oh, you're having a day? Yeah. Yeah, that happens sometimes. So sending you some love and some comfort for for that type of day. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you all are. So like I said, I'm offering free and paid readings. So if you would like a free reading, this is how my free readings work, okay? So leave a comment with your name and a question. It can be yes or no. General, love, health, career, or a 1-card pool. The only thing I do not do is pregnancy or fertility readings. It's just not my bag. It's just not my bag. Okay. And the way that I work with my free readings is that I just allow my intuition to kind of pull me into whoever, you know, needs to be read at the moment. Because when we work in big groups like this, you know, several people, multiple people might resonate with the information that's coming through and that's being streamed through or channeled through. And so I just allow my intuition to kind of guide me to where whoever needs to be read. Okay. If you do want to skip the line, so to speak, and donate, to get on the list is the donation of $20 minimum. And this is for readings only, right? And that's just a minimum. You can donate more. All the links are in my profile, and you got to let me know if you do donate, because sometimes the things don't come through right away. Okay. All right, let me move all of this stuff off of my screen. Okay. And then the donation exchange for readings are $20 minimum, and $33 for energy work and mediumship. Okay. And that's just a minimum. You feel free to send, if you feel inspired to donate more, that's great. If not, you know, those are the minimums. Okay. So I will start scanning the comments here in a minute. The other thing that I like to say at the top of my lives is that beware that there are other fake accounts out there with my name. And sometimes it's just my image. There's another one that I think is like Jody Divine or something, and she's used that account is using my my likeness. So just know that there are fake accounts out there soliciting and DMing people directly for readings. And please know that I will never do this. This is not something that I practice, nor will I ever. It feels icky to me. So if you do happen to get solicited from or a DM from an account that, oh, thank you, that looks like me, know that this is not me. Please report them because it's not me. All right, so let me get my shit in order here. And yeah, feel free to share the live, like the live, and if you don't already follow me, please give me a follow. And if you do ever feel guided to work with me one-on-one, I do offer a vast array of different either healing sessions, energy work. Like I do ancestral healing, I do quantum healing, I do matrix restructuring. I do a lot of different things, light language activations that are personalized. And so if you ever do feel guided to check me out, then you can check me out through the link in my profile, which will take you to my website, okay? Okay. And I have been doing this since 2018. But I've been reading people my whole life. Just didn't realize it. Okay, so let me... I'm gonna start... Yeah, pink hair rules. I'm just gonna start scrolling through the comments. And if you do plan to, or if you are inspired to donate for a reading, I encourage you to do it earlier on because I do have a limited space. I like to be on for about an hour, hour and a half tops. So yeah, there's that. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. I'm just going to tune into the collective. Thank you all for being here. The purpose, besides just I love to read people, I love to, it's kind of like a spiritual counselor. Besides that purpose for me being here today, and I'm here every Tuesday through Friday for the foreseeable future, is to also remind you and be a conduit of remembrance of your own power, okay? So a lot of times my readings will reflect where you might be giving away your power, or where you might be replaying and recreating certain patterns, whether they're patterns of behavior, thought, belief, emotion that are no longer serving you. Okay, and then you get to decide whether or not you apply deeper self-awareness in your life or not. Okay, I am feeling So if you do want a free reading, this is how my free readings work, okay? Gotta leave a comment with your name and a question, general, love, health, career, or a one-card pool, okay? The only thing I do not do is pregnancy or fertility, but I really prefer you to have your name and like either a question so that I can kind of feel in. Okay. Hold on, wait, what was that? Okay. There's a couple that are lighting up in my head. Let me see. I gotta scroll through some more. Okay. Amanda, I feel you, my dear. Will you confirm that you're still here? Amanda asks, am I on the right spiritual path? Okay, you're here. Thank you for confirming that, my dear. I'm just going to, so first off, you get to choose whether you're on the right path or not. However, at the same time, I do understand what you're saying here. Sometimes we want to understand, it feels like a question of alignment. Am I aligned? Am I aligned in my spiritual pursuits? Am I aligned in my spiritual pursuits? That's kind of what I feel that you're asking here. Is like, are you aligned? Is there anything more specific that you'd like to ask as far as, am I on the spiritual path? Because what I find is when people ask, the more specific you are, the more specific the information that comes through is. Okay? However, as I do connect to you and your energy, I'm feeling in, trying to figure out what this is. One moment. Is that, what is that? Is that misalignment or is that alignment? Okay. All right. As I'm connecting to your energy, as I connect to your energy, I do feel like there's, on my right side, I feel like a little, it's almost like this marshmallowy feeling. And I'm like, what is this? I don't get what this is. And so I'm kind of asking and discerning what this is. It does feel like your masculine energy feels a bit out of alignment. It feels like there's aspects within your masculine energy, and this doesn't mean like gender. I'm not talking about gender. We all have masculine and feminine energy, and different balances of that, and optimal balancing of those frequencies, right? Or optimal functionality of different degrees of whichever. And it does feel like your masculine energy feels a bit out of balance. I don't get anything super specific. It just feels like masculine, and there's some woundedness around masculine energy. Whether that's dad, it typically will go back to our very, very core fundamental relationships that we developed, and that we developed as from the womb to about 6-7 years old. Okay, so this could be dad or a father figure or just brother. It could be other masculine figures. Mom could even, feminine. Females of feminine energy can also be hyper masculinized or embody more masculine, which throws dynamics off. It throws the magnetics off. And it feels like there's some of that happening here within your masculine energy. All I get is like there's some woundedness around masculine energy that feels beneficial to be examined. As far as spiritual journey, I mean, you get to decide that. It does feel like because of the masculine the masculine, the woundedness and the masculine energy, it's pulling you towards things that, not that they're completely non-beneficial, they just don't feel super in alignment. And again, I don't get anything super specific, okay? As far as your alignment and you know, your question asking, you know, are you on the right spiritual path? Yes, you can never get it wrong. You really can't ever get it wrong. You really can't ever make a mistake. There's not really such things as a mistake, because really those mistakes, it's really just feedback if we allow it to be. Sometimes we get in our head and we start judging ourselves or shaming ourselves or whatever is the story. But you can't really ever get it wrong. It does feel like, though, at the same time, asking yourself, what are you truly passionate about, joyful about, and learn more about that. That's kind of the gist of what I get here. Other than that, there's an invitation to investigate more of your masculine energy and maybe some wounds around masculine energy, because it feels like you are playing out some patterns emotionally and physically as it pertains to masculine energy that pull you in a direction that again, it's not entirely non-beneficial, because everything is going to serve us in the end. You know, if we allow it to, if we allow the awareness and we allow ourselves to learn, it's going to serve you in the end. But yeah, that's kind of what I get. Otherwise, I'm just talking in circles. Okay, that's what I get for you, my dear. Okay, so let me know. I do not do pregnancy readings. That's the only thing I don't do. I don't do pregnancy or fertility. It's just not my jam. So hope that helps, Amanda. Let me know, or not. I'm going to scan the comments some more. Hi, Pablo. How are you? So if you would like, let's see, hold on. What's going on up here? All right. You're so welcome, Amanda. So if you would like a free reading, there is, leave a comment with your name and a question, general, etc., or a one-card pool. Only thing I don't do is pregnancy, right? And I just allow my intuition to kind of pull me to whoever needs to be read. And if you'd like to skip the line with a donation and get to the top of the list, basically, I do have limited spots, and the donations of $20 minimum are for the readings only. All the links are my profile. So Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and let me know in the comments that you donated. Okay, because sometimes it doesn't come through right away on my phone here. And the donation exchange is 20 for readings and 33 for energy work and or mediumship. Okay, and I charge now for mediumship because it takes quite a bit of energy to connect in that way. Thank you for the little love hat. I like it. Okay. Okay, Megan, let's read you, my dear. Megan asks, will Bobby come out of isolation from grieving his mom? Will I see him again? Let me know that you're here, Megan. It'd be an honor to read for this question. It's very specific. I like specific questions. Oh, excuse me. All right, cool. Thank you for letting me know. All right, Megan. So I'm going to connect to you. And please know that when you're asking about someone else, in order to stay within integrity, I can only read so far, okay? Because I respect other people's will and divine will and free will, free choice, because if they're not asking for it, I can only go so far, okay? And those are my own limitations that I put on myself in order to stay in integrity. When I connect to this person through you, my dear, it does feel like quite a bit of heartache. I get like a dark night of the soul vibe, to be honest. This feels like it actually might catalyze perhaps a spiritual awakening. It's meant to catalyze some different things in his life and in his consciousness. So I don't know if you have any attachments to this person as far as wanting them to come out of it and just be okay in order to maybe placate your own stuff and or just to ensure that he's okay. I'm not sure what it is. Feels like there might be some attachments there. This actually feels like it's meant to catalyze a deeper awareness, and he gets to choose which way he goes. So remember that this is all about free will, free choice. People get to choose for themselves, whether they come out of it or not, or whether they choose to go deeper, or if they choose to allow it to awaken them into connecting to themselves and on a deeper spiritual level. You know, so it is up to him. However, it does feel like this death was meant to catalyze a like a dark night of the soul type of situation. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it is, but that's kind of what it feels like. So that's how I'm translating it. That's how it's like translating to me in my head. Feels like a little bit of a dark night of the soul in order to allow the opportunity and give the invitation to release some old patterns, some old wounds, and also process this heartbreak and grieve give the grieving process the honor, the respect that it deserves, because many of us, because of the way our society runs, we feel like we have to shove everything down. I can't feel these feelings right now because we got jobs to go to, we got bills to pay, etc. But it feels like he's giving it the space it needs in order to like feel the things. You know, when we have grief is processed non-linearly, and we can't control that. Okay, we can try. We can try to control it, but it's still going to come up. It's probably more beneficial to not suppress grief and the grieving process. So it feels like giving some space. I would invite giving some space and let this person kind of grieve, while also checking in here and there. And it does feel like on your, like, kind of bringing it back to you, allowing you to maybe illuminate where you have attachments to just others being okay. I just want to make sure this person is okay, and which is great. You know, that's really commendable. You want your person or your friend or whoever, whatever relationship this is to you, you want this person to be okay. You're concerned, right? It's showing concern. I care for this person and I want to ensure that they're okay. There does feel like there's an opportunity for you to care a little bit more from a distance, not completely letting the connection go, but there's a balance between you know, checking in and allowing that person to process what needs to process. And then having versus having an attachment to like, I need this person to be okay. Because it attaches to something of you not being okay because someone else is not okay. But that's kind of how I feel it coming in. You said, will you see him again? That feels a little up in the air right now based on where he is. Let me see if I can fast forward and tune into like certain timelines. There are timelines. There are timelines in which you will see him again. It does feel like after a period of time, though. It feels like this person definitely needs their space and needs to process, because sometimes when we go to a dark place, it's really helpful to have those lifelines. So, you know, if you feel called and feel guided genuinely to check in, also give that person the space. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You're free to do whatever the F you want to do. So I'm not here to tell anybody to do anything, but it does feel like this person does need some space and they need to process. And here's the metaphor that's coming into my head is when a butterfly is in its chrysalis, and if we tried to help the butterfly out of that chrysalis before, without that struggle of like that actually strengthens its wings, the butterfly wouldn't know how to fly. That's the metaphor that I'm getting, is like, remember that part, is like some people need to go through their own internal turmoil and struggle in order to process that and really become aware of what might need to shift, what they prefer to shift, so that going forward, it's this thing that's been made conscious that was previously unconscious. So it's a lot there, and there's that. I'm gonna leave it there. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you, my dear. All right. Okay. Okay. Megan says, yes, I'm giving space, and he's definitely going through a dark night of the soul. Yeah, and in those moments, it's definitely good to have a reminder and a connection, so we're not getting completely consumed by that dark night of the soul type energy. It's also important to give space where space might be needed. So, oh, okay. Yeah, he's my boyfriend, so I'm attached with him being okay. Yeah. He's just got to go through his own thing. Remember that butterfly metaphor. Butterfly metaphor. That's important too, However, you get to do you, boo. So you get to choose for yourself what happens. So, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You're so welcome. She says, thanks for the insight. You're so welcome, my dear. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you would like a reading, I'm going to keep scanning the comments as they come in. So if you would like a free reading, leave a comment with your name and a question. It can be yes or no. The more specific that you can be, the more specific the information that comes through, right? And if you'd like to skip the line and get on the list, my donations are open, and donations of 20 minimum. All the links are in my profile, and then you gotta let me know that you donated. Okay, and the donation exchange, of course, is 20 for readings minimum and 33 for energy work or mediumship. Okay, hold on. I think I seen Yeah, I kind of feel you, Charlotte, my dear. Charlotte says, will I end up sticking with my mental health nursing career? Let me know that you're here still, Charlotte. And there's a lot of millennials on here. Okay, you're here. Thank you for that. Okay, so ultimately this gets to be your choice. Okay, first off, I'm always gonna remind people of that. No matter what reading that I'm doing, is you always get to choose. So ultimately it's going to be your choice. You know, I will tune in and relay what, because I'm already tuning in. I will relay what comes through, and you get to choose. You get to fill in, see what resonates where, and then you get to make an empowered choice in your own life. Okay. So just to say that, put that out there first. So I'm going to check the resonance and like the alignment. What I actually feel when I tune into you, Charlotte, it does feel like you have an affinity for helping others, which many of us do, right? So maybe that's not anything new, but it does feel like that's just what's coming through, is like it does feel like you have an affinity for helping others. The mental health, it does feel like it does take its toll. This feels like it's for some reasons that are coming through. It feels like you're not completely grounded in your own wellness, I guess you could say, as like mental wellness. And that feels like it actually indicates, are you regularly doing your own shadow work in order to stay grounded in yourself? Because it feels like in this career that you're in, or this profession that you're in, that you are almost drained by others' mental unwellness, because you haven't quite cleared some of your own stuff. And for me, the way that I'm interpreting it is that it feels like there's an invitation to process your own stuff more regularly. Okay, because otherwise it feels like you're not completely grounded in your own mental wellness, because it feels like on a mental level you know who you are to a point. However, there's still some like old, traumas or beliefs or whatever, and like this work never ends. So it's not like, oh, you need to get to a certain place and then you'll be okay to help people. No. Okay. That's not what I'm saying here at all. What I am saying is, though, it just feels like an invitation to do more of your own process work in order to keep you grounded in knowing who you are and where you are at mentally, versus, when you take care of someone, we're in their field, sometimes other people's influences and programs can also influence us if we're not like sure of like where we are, who we are, where we begin and end, and where they begin and end. Okay, and I'm talking about energetically, mentally, emotionally, etc. Okay, so it feels like this job is taking a bit of a toll on you, mentally and emotionally, because there's still some things left for you to like keep processing, and it feels like, again, an invitation to do more of your own like shadow work, belief work, etc. Okay. From there, it does feel like if you do choose, right, because this is a choice, this gets to be a choice that you take or not. If you choose to do more of your own shadow work and your own belief work, whatever the internal work it is, it does feel that leaves you more in a grounded space to be of like a higher service in that, and that feels more aligned in that way. Okay. In general, I'm not quite sure, because the vibe I get, it feels like you like to help others. Not quite sure if this is the line or the line of work, or maybe the company, or the exact expression, because it does feel like mental wellness, you're pretty good at that. It feels like you're pretty good at that. And that you have like a knack for it. At the same time, it does feel like there's some element that I can't quite pinpoint that doesn't feel so in alignment with you, like as a soul, like on a soul level. Like I'm saying, like, I don't know if it's the business itself or the company itself. It might be the company. It might be the type of practice. Again, this feels like it goes back to maybe doing your own internal work. And that actually might lead you to a certain process or type of process that illuminates, or that gives like some kind of information, inspiration coming through that's like, oh, this is what feels a little wonky or like a little off about the way that I'm helping others now. Not that what you're doing is wrong by any means, because I don't believe that there's a wrong or right, like in that there's not a mistake. There's only feedback. There's choices and there's feedback, and then we get to course correct or make a different choice. Okay, so just to help keep that into context. Yeah, there does seem to be some kind of aspect that feels not quite right, not quite in alignment. But it does feel like you have a knack for like mental wellness and like coaching, guiding people in that space. Okay. So it could just be maybe not the right company, maybe, adding new tools and to help you in when you support and you become a facilitator for others. But that's kind of what I'm getting without going too far into it. That's kind of what I'm getting, my dear. And that gets to be your choice. So I'm not here to say yes or no, but I'm here to tell you like that's kind of the things that I feel. And then you get to make the choice whether or not you do. That gets to be your choice, my dear. All right. All right. Thank you for the gifts. What do you mean by spiritual readings? I'm not sure. I just read people. So the best way I can say it is I tap into, depending on your question or depending on the aspect of you that you want me to tune into and read, I empathically, claircognizantly, and clairaudiently tune into the information, and I receive information from there. And then from there, I just translate and relay the information that I get. Okay. I hope that maybe clears some things up for you. You're welcome, Charlotte. You're so welcome. She says, thank you so much. Okay. Continuing on. Oh, I gotta scroll through the comments. There's a lot of comments coming. Okay. And if you do want to go back and watch, if you do get red, or you want to go back and watch any of these lives for whatever reason, or the Wi-Fi goes to shit and starts glitching, I do post all of my lives on YouTube, and they do have a certain playlist under, the TikTok lives, the free readings. So you can also watch those on my channel, watch those back on my channel. For anybody that gets a reading or wants to listen back. Pablo's just driving and just listening. Happy to have you here. Okay. Okay, I have a couple of them. Hold on. Okay. Oh, whoa, I gotta scroll a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Andre, let's read you, my dear. Let me know that you're still here. Send me an emoji, or just let me know that you're here. Andre asks, will my ex reach out to me soon? Okay. Sweet. Thank you for confirming that. No, Andre, not Andrea. Andre asks, will my ex reach out to me soon? So I'm going to connect to you. Very interesting. Okay, I get quite a bit of information. Whoa, I get quite a bit of information when I tune into this connection. So I'm going to do my best to very delicately say the things. At the same time, I have to be, it would be inauthentic for me to not be straightforward. So I'm just going to say it how it comes in. Please know that I'm doing it in the most delicate and respectful manner that I know how to, okay? When I tune into this, the first word that I honestly hear was toxic. And then I feel like actually it was starting to get the drama triangle. So the victim, persecutor, and savior, that little drama triangle thing that goes in there. And I'm also seeing explosions. So I'm feeling a lot of, it actually feels like certain dynamics are being perhaps mistaken as passion. And so it feels like there's a lot of explosiveness that feels like, oh, this is passionate and this is great. And not to say that there isn't those, because it does feel like it's a little mixed. It feels like I get about waves of confusion. Like, I'm not sure what this is. It feels like passion. It also doesn't feel, the connection feels explosive, and not necessarily in a benevolent or beneficial way. However, that gets to be your choice, and that's just the initial energy that I get. So I just wanted to relay that first. Okay, is she gonna reach out to you soon? Well, that gets to be her choice, number one. Okay, or their choice. I don't want to assume. This person, as I'm reading their energy, feels very frustrated. It does feel like a little bit of I keep hearing emotionally manipulative. Wanting to get the upper hand. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut contact so that I can have the upper hand, so that the ball is in my court, so that I have the power in the relationship. And I'm going to do this as long as I need in order to ensure that I have the power. And there's a lot of like internal storms that I feel, like internal turmoil, I guess you could say, with this person. I don't know if this is something that does resonate, but this is like the information that I'm getting when I tune into this person. Let me kind of, I don't know that she will with this type of, or I don't know that they will. Again, I don't want to assume. With this type of energy, it feels like I want to get the power in the relationship. I want to make sure that I have the power in the relationship. So what I keep hearing over and over is an imbalanced power dynamics. That's kind of what I keep hearing in my head. You can either confirm that or, whatever in the comments. You do not have to share at the same time. So I don't really get that she will. It feels almost like I'm frustrated. I want this person. I feel like this person wants you to reach out in order to have the power in the relationship, in order to know that they hold the chips. They have the ball in their court. They get to, so it feels like wanting to put themselves on like a pedestal. And again, that feels like it fuels that drama triangle: victim, perpetrator, and savior. So like victim, like playing the victim at the same time being the perpetrator. Here's the thing, is we've all been all of the things. We've all been the victim. We've all been the perpetrator. We've all been the savior. Even if it's not in this life, other lives or whatever, we've played these things out. And it feels like she's still playing these out, or this person's still playing this out. And that's where I'm going to leave it, because that you didn't really, that's all you ask. I don't feel this person reaching out to you. I feel like if I don't feel that. There's like a slim, minuscule possibility. But that's all I get. That's all I get is like minuscule. There might be that, but yeah, I don't get a big probability with that. It feels like a power grab in a relationship. And that's all I'm feeling called to say at this time. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go back. Hello, Mel. How are you, my dear? I'm doing well. I hope you're well too. Okay. Wait, where was that? Let me fill into something. So I am feeling the call to say a little something, because I was reading I was hearing, or I was reading something about soulmates. Is this person my soulmate? I keep seeing a lot of soulmate stuff. The thing about soulmates is that anybody can be your soulmate at any time. And sometimes we're focused. Sometimes we focus or we project. Here's a better thing. A lot of times, many times, what we're doing with terms like soulmates and twin flames is not to say that they're not real, because they are very real. Sacred contracts or sacred connections that happen that are actually a lot rarer. Especially things like twin flames. They can be a lot rarer than we might like to believe, or whatever the story is in our head. But the thing, my point is with like terms like soulmate and twin flames, what I've tuned into is that a lot of us, we have like a lot of unresolved trauma as far as relationships and feeling loved and feeling worthy and feeling having self-esteem and confidence and feeling like we know who we are and wanting connection, etc. We have a lot of like unresolved emotional wounds and traumas around these themes. And what ends up happening is we hear terms like soulmates and twin flames, and we project our unresolved wounds and heartbreak and different things like that onto these concepts, without wanting to do the work, or without realizing there might be more internal work, internal awareness, self-awareness to go into. And this gets to be our choice, whether we do it or not. However, I just was feeling to call that out and to say that, because that's what happens a lot of the times. Okay, but no shame or judgment here. It's just more of awareness. This is what I feel a lot of times when people ask me about that. And I felt it a lot because I had my own experience with like the theme or the concept of twin flames. And I'm like, oh, when I had to go through a whole fucking thing of like, oh, I get it. I see it. I see it more clearly now. Hold on. Let me see. There was someone that I was so again, oh, Mel, you were saying, I read for you, and you said you were right, not worth waiting for David. He lied about everything. I'm sorry to hear that, my dear. At the same time, good for you for finding out now so that you can make a different choice. You know what I mean? You can make a different choice, and you can recognize where you get to have your power and where you get to like. So I'm sorry that I'm sorry for, because I know how that feels. You know, you got to process those feelings and those emotions. At the same time, good for you. I'm glad that you found out. Okay. So let me just let me say one more time, because I'm going to do this for maybe like a half an hour more. So the free readings are as follows, and that's great. Everybody's doing the things, right? Leave a comment with your name and a question, general, love, health, career, or one card pool. The only thing I do not do is pregnancy or fertility readings. And if you want to skip the line and actually donate for a reading, you get to get on the list for donations of $20 minimum for readings. All the links are in my profile, and you let me know in the comments if you've donated, because it doesn't always show up on my phone. And then donation exchange is $20 for readings if you want to get on the list, right? This is for paid donation-based readings. and or 33 for energy work and mediumship. So I charge for mediumship now because it takes a lot of energy to do that. Okay, scanning the comments. There's a lot of good ones here. Thank you guys for hanging out hanging out with me and allowing me to read for you and to do what I do, because this is literally one of the things that I'm so good at doing. I'm really good at reading people. Oh, are we saying all our three main now? Libra Sun, Scorpio Rising, Taurus Moon. I'm a Virgo Sun, Scorpio Rising, and Cancer Moon. Thank you for sharing that. Let me scroll a little bit more. Hold on. Hold on. I see this one. Is it Lorato? I'm sorry. You can please feel free to correct me. Sometimes I just don't have the tongue. You're asking if I decline this job that I got, will I get something better? And you're saying month end, so like by month end? Let me know that you're still here, my dear. Okay, Lorato. Okay, all right. Thank you for saying. Thank you for confirming that you're here. So I'm gonna tune into your energy. Congratulations on the job. Just filling in. I don't know if you'd like this job, to be honest. And that's probably why you're asking if you decline this job, right? That's probably why you're asking the question that you're asking. This gets to be, okay, first off, before anything, this gets to be your choice, right? This gets to be your choice, and you get to be empowered in that choice, because, you can't get anything wrong, ever. We can have judgments about our choices, but it's really just feedback and choices. So with that being said, I don't really feel like you'd really dig this job. It feels like the words I get are confining and restricting. And it feels like your soul actually wants to express in a vastly different way is the words that come to mind when I hear this, or when I'm tuning in. So if you decline this job, will you get another one by the month end, is your question. Let me see if there's any timelines out there. I do get a timeline that comes back. And that you get a different job that feels, here's the thing. What I'm getting is that, yeah, you could get another job on this timeline that I'm tuning into. Is like, yeah, you could. And it shows up. It's a little bit more in alignment. So there's that. And it shows up as one way. It feels like you'd almost equally feeling like, fuck, like this isn't. It almost feels like it ends up, it doesn't look the same as this job that you got, but it feels the same as this job. Okay. So By month end, yes, there's that potential. At the same time, it feels a little bit more in alignment. At the same time, it also feels like it's the same as this job that you just got. I feel something more out, more further out as far as like time goes, like linear time goes. That's interesting. The first thing I got was 6 months, and then I hear 4 to 6 months. So there's a little wiggle room as far as like timelines, depending on where you align. This actually feels to me, I'm going to just add this in here, so take it or leave it. It feels like the invitation. Typically when I get stuff like this, it feels like there's an invitation to get outside of that comfort zone. And like, I know, like, we definitely all want some type of security, right? Financial security, stability, having a roof over our head, being able to pay the bills, etc., etc., etc. However, at this time, and like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not dismissing that. That's great. At the same time, in this time of great transition, and where like things are just like crazy and chaotic, it's important to follow like your heart and your dreams. And I know that can sound really fucking cliche, but there's a reason why. There's a reason why. And so this feels like there's an opportunity here to have like something that will help you bring in money and pay the bills and stuff, and you get to choose what that is. At the same time, while at the same time discovering what it is that actually really lights you up, and finding a way, creating a way to bridge your now reality to that reality that you actually feel in your heart. So it feels like there's a much deeper calling here, my dear, and that gets to be your choice, whether you align to that or not, or that gets to be your choice. But there's your answer. There's your answer. I'm gonna leave that there. And let's see, I got about 10 minutes left, I think. And yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do as many as I can. Okay. Hold on. Jess, will my ex Brandy and I ever work things out? Let me know that you're still here, Jess. You're so welcome, my dear. I hope that gives you some insight as to what choice to make for yourself. It's Jess. Okay, Jess. So I'm going to tune into you, Jess, and then I'm going to tune into the connection, okay? So as I'm reading it, as I'm reading the energy and tuning into the connection, I'm feeling called to acknowledge that there feels like there is, the word I hear is tremendous amounts of love here. Though tuning in a little bit further, I don't feel like this is meant to work out. Again, that gets to be both of your choices, whether it does or not. It feels like even if you do try, it just doesn't, things kind of fall apart. And it does feel like there's some emotional patterns and emotional wounds that are being reflected in this relationship, so as to bring your awareness into like these patterns that keep playing out. Okay. I don't feel like this is meant to work out because I keep feeling like I don't feel it working out in the way that you might want it to. And I'm sorry for that. At the same time, that does give you the ability or the invitation or the opportunity to reflect upon what this relationship or what this connection actually allows you to learn. Because it feels like there's some emotional stuff that comes up a lot and within this connection, and that to me that brings me back to old emotional wounds, because this is the nature of my work. Is helping people to process wounds and also like self-awareness, etc. So it does feel like this connection was more meant to it was meant to have a lot of love, and at the same time it was meant to really deepen the amount of love that you can have, or that you feel or believe that you can have or give to others. And that relates back again to the old emotional wounds. I'm not quite sure how to put this together or piece this together, so I'm doing my best to like make it make sense, or to have it make sense as much as I can. But this is what I get. I keep feeling it go back to emotional wounding that's being reflected in this relationship. I don't really see it working out, so I'm sorry about that, my dear. But I will. I'm gonna leave it there, and you can let me know what resonates, or if it doesn't. It's all good. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you for the hearts. I like it. There was a lot, Jess says there's a lot of emotional things that happened. We got together after my mom passed. Yeah. And that brings up grief. That brings up grief for me. Did you allow yourself to grieve, or did you, it almost feels like distracting yourself from grieving properly. I don't know if that's right, but if your mom passed, if I get grief in my head. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay. No, not really, because then my dad passed while we were together. Well, it's good for you that you, like, you know what I mean? You get to figure all of that out. I'm just here as a conduit of information, and you get to apply the things or not. You get to figure out how they come in or not, or how they resonate with you or not. Okay, let's do a couple more. You're welcome, Jess. Thank you for being here, my dear. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. Okay, Sandy. Let me know that you're still here. Sandy asks, will Jared and I get through our breakup and come back together long term? Let me know that you're still here, my dear. And do. Okay, thank you. There you are, Sandy. Thank you for confirming that. And you said, okay, are you and this person going to get through this and come back long term? Okay. I'm gonna tap into your energy, and then connect to the connection. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start relaying information as I hear it, so that we can get to wherever we're going to. Okay. So I do feel the breakup in itself. This is really interesting because I'm being shown like images of like almost like wartime, like taking shots at one another, like almost like a war zone. And so to me, I would interpret this as being like, this is like the relationship, and it feels like there's a lot to get through in order to like come back and to deepen the relationship, strengthen the relationship. And then like, pardon me for what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it as it's coming through. Get past all of the petty shit. Okay. Because it feels like there's some like pettiness, and I don't mean that in a judgmental way. We get to be whatever the fuck way we want. And a lot of people have these same type of like patterns where like we get triggered and we don't realize we're in a triggered state, and what's actually being triggered is trauma, like emotional wounds or whatever from the past, and we're reacting to this present now situation as if it was the past, but we don't fucking realize that it's not the past, because it's not conscious. It's unconscious. Okay. And so there's definitely no judgment there at all. It just feels like there's some wounds and some old shit to get past in order to really strengthen and get past this like taking shots at one another, creating this war zone. And it feels like it feels familiar, and that might have reflected your parents' relationship, their parents' relationship, of like taking shots at one another, constantly fighting, constantly bickering. So it feels normal, it feels familiar, and so there's something around that as well. And then I'm gonna move forward and see if there's any. That's where we started off first. I'm gonna like check in and tap into any like, see if there's any timelines. There are definitely timelines there where you get back together and it's the same old thing. I don't know if this is the relationship. This almost feels like a relationship that's there, or that happens, that manifests in order to bring you into a deeper awareness of yourself. And you get to choose choose whether that's what you want it to do or not. That gets to be your choice. All relationships in retrospect can bring us into a greater, deeper self-awareness of like, why didn't this work out? What patterns were there? What, and how does that relate to my own wounding or beliefs about myself, about my worth, about whatever. So it feels like it's more of a relationship that's meant to reflect to you certain patterns that are more destructive and more dysfunctional as far as relationships, like romantic relationships go. And then that all, to me, in my head, that's all pointing towards self-love. Because it feels like there's a lot of like dependency on needing the other person's reassurance. And there's nothing wrong with, there's nothing wrong inherently with that. It's when we become dependent or attached to needing that it's almost like an addiction, and that it's just perpetuating an old pattern, okay, that you've been playing out for however long. I don't see any, as it stands right now, I do not see any timelines that you guys get back together and it works out. I don't feel like this is one of those relationships that are meant to like work out in that way. It feels like you're actually meant for someone else. With not really the caveat, but with like emphasis, I guess, being on that some self-awareness and some like deep healing of like these old patterns is needed, and that is you go down that is your choice, your free will choice to like go into more self-awareness and more healing and more, I already said self-awareness, around what maybe needs to shift for your highest benefit, because it feels like playing out these old wounds is no longer working for you, and it's not going to work in this relationship. It's not going to work in, it doesn't feel like it's going to work in many relationships that you might have going forward. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It kind of got jumbled in my head, so I'm doing my best. But I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, I don't see anything. So I'm sorry if that's not what you wanted to hear. But yeah, so that's what I get, my dear Sandy. Oh, my dears. When I close my eyes, man, and I open them, and then you got all these crazy things. You're so welcome. Sandy says thank you. Okay, my dears. So if if you do feel guided to work with me one-on-one at all, I do private readings, energy healing, ancestral healing, all kinds of different things. You can check out my links in my bio. That's going to be it for me today. I will be back on tomorrow with some more free readings, paid readings, etc. And until then, have a beautiful day, night, weekend, or whatever time zone, wherever you are. I love you. Thank you so much for hanging out. And yeah, infinite love and blessings. And remember, we are all in this together. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.